Greetings, everyone. I'm Nola Joy Carrillo, and happy 4th of July. I'm so honored to have with me today Sal Gentile, all the way from Daytona Beach, Florida. And Sal is the tinnitus advocate expert. And guess what? He just arrived last night with his lovely wife, Maddie, from a several-day cruise on the Rhine River, and they celebrated their 47th wedding anniversary in Switzerland. Then this morning, he marched in the Daytona Veterans Day Parade, and now he is with us. Welcome, Sal.
Hello, NJ. How are you today?
Hi, and how are you?
I'm just fine. I'm just had a great day, a great 2-week vacation with my lovely wife, Maddie. Celebrated our 47th anniversary, as you mentioned. And this morning marched in a parade, a Veterans Day parade, and didn't really get in till after midnight last night. It was a little bit late, and still on that 8-hour time change. But well, I adjust quickly. So so far everything is fine in sunny Daytona Beach.
My question is, why are you so anxious and eager to invite all veterans and non-veterans to salute to silence tinnitus?
Well, Salute to Silence Tinnitus is a program that I discovered actually off of some of the different sites that I work with. And I just put them all together and came up with this idea to salute veterans and non-veterans on Independence Day, because we have to, as people who have this condition, we have to declare independence at some time and some stage or form of what we're going through. We live with this condition. There is no cure right now. However, there are many cure trials in progress. The point being here is that, again, I'm taking a step up to say, let's just declare independence from tinnitus, learn to live with it, get out and appreciate the sunshine and blue sky, keep working at it, and let's just free ourselves from the burden of the noises that we hear every day and focus on them until we basically have no quality of life whatsoever.
I know for those who are just joining us for the first time, share your journey with us, how it all started for you. It happened, I think, was it the day of your birthday or the evening after your birthday?
Yes, it was approximately 15 years ago, and I was celebrating my birthday with some friends out for dinner and went to sleep. And the next morning I woke up with 4 loud noises just right through my brain. Had no idea what this was, just penetrated right through. And I got up and said, wow, something happened to me. Had no idea whatsoever. I figured, well, it'll just go away. Maybe it was just it wasn't a long night, and I just thought nothing. Just it happened. Just like things happen. We get a headache, a foot hurt. Well, I had some noises in my brain. Well, unbeknownst to me, they worsened and never went away. And so that's where it started, NJ.
I think I would like you to describe noises, like where you had rattling of a snake, hissing of a snake, because people, you wouldn't say noises. Explain that a little bit better.
Sure. When this started, and as it continued throughout, actually progressed throughout the years, the 4 noises were very difficult for me to try and live with. One actually was the rattling of a rattlesnake. Another one, so when we tell people, well, we have ringing in the ears, that really is just a generic statement for other noises that we hear, just to explain to them that something's going on in our brain. My second noise was actually hissing steam pipes.
Hmm.
Right now, because we're talking about it, in my right ear, I have some hissing of a steam pipe, but it doesn't really bother me because over time you learn to habituate, and it just becomes part of your life. To answer your question specifically, though, the third noise was some sort of a mechanical noise that just rapidly kept moving through my head. And the fourth noise was the best way to actually describe it was some sort of a wave crashing into a wall, maybe a flood or a hurricane or a monsoon of waves just crashing into the wall or some structure. And they were pretty tough to live with, I'll be honest with you. It
Well,
wasn't easy.
I'm sorry. So for the veterans, would they probably hear more like a grenade going off, like, or a loud bomb?
Well, what happens is they've heard, many veterans have heard many of those noises. So the hair cells in their cochlear nerves in the back of their head are damaged. So they're not going to necessarily hear a grenade go off, but what they will hear are, again, different types of noises. Some come to me and tell me they hear clicking. Others might or will come to me and tell me they hear crickets. So not everybody hears the same noise because they may have been in a situation where that noise occurred, but every noise is different. Every brain is different.
Now you help people all over the world. So what advice do you give them, or how do you work with them?
Well, if I would get a call from someone who, and I'm thinking of just recently, a young lady in England who just was very upset because when people develop tinnitus, they have no idea what's going on. I mean, they lived a normal life and all of a sudden their life becomes abnormal and they become depressed and they become anxious. So the first thing you have to do is try and really calm them down and make them understand, educate them, make them understand exactly what it is that they're going through. And that's, of course, after you listen to exactly what they're feeling. And secondly, try and develop a program to help them move on from these noises. Some people hear it gently, some people hear it loudly. So again, it depends on the situation, but to answer your question specifically, I make them understand that they're not alone. There's over 50 million of us. I think there's more like 100 million of us, to be honest with you. I don't have a specific number. That's just a generic number. The 50 million is also just a guesstimate from the experts. But, you know, geez, the fellow who fixes my bike has tinnitus, and, you know, people who use lawnmowers have tinnitus, and loud noises, people who work around loud noises have tinnitus. So again, you know, the answer to the question is to try and educate them. So when you educate someone who has something and they have no idea what it is, and you know, you take them through sometimes an hour and a half, sometimes several Zoom calls, you get them to understand exactly what's happening, and then you can help them, again, put a program together and control exactly what's happening with them.
So how do you kind of soften up the noise? Do you like listen to what pink noise?
So in many cases, that is correct. What we basically do is we'll try some type of noise that's pleasant to the individual. And over time, that noise becomes the dominant noise versus the noise that they're hearing.
Mhm.
And because it's soothing and they become used to it, as with myself, which was running water. And over time, it cancels out the noise that they're basically hearing.
Now,
So
go ahead.
it works pretty well. It's a good system. It's called brain retraining. It's basically if you went to a hearing specialist, an audiologist, if in fact, which we didn't get to, of course, yet, is some of the remedies such as hearing aids. They will tell you that you need to retrain your brain. You need to retrain your brain in many different ways. One would be hearing aids. The second might be cognitive behavioral therapy, which basically is a whole different methodology on why it's happening and my reaction to the noise.
So where you were flying, was it worse than being on the ground?
Do I find it?
No, I said, when you were flying in the air to go to the
Oh,
Rhine, yes, was it
so-
worse or less?
Okay, so when I fly, good question. When I fly, I have a very expensive pair of Sennheiser ear protection. They're kind of like earmuffs
Mhm.
that go over my ears, and I can actually press a button if I wanted to talk to my wife or someone next to me, and then press the button again, and it would basically block out any sounds whatsoever. So I put them on before the plane takes off and after the plane lands. Now, this is also connected. You could connect it to, I connect it to my iPod sometimes where I have music, but you also could connect it to the plane and watch TV, which I did on the way home.
No, okay, now we're off the plane and now we're going on the Rhine River cruise. Was it more intense, less intense, or the same?
It was so relaxing, I never heard it.
Really?
Yes.
But you also, I wanted to mention that you were invited to speak about tinnitus from one of your cruise members, your cruise friends.
Correct. So what happens in a situation like that is when you're speaking about it, as we are now, you do hear it. It's more obvious to you than when you're out doing things, you know, like maybe socializing with people, you know, where there's more noise and it basically takes the place of the noises that you're hearing. It takes your mind off of it. Road noise, you know, driving in a car, that type of noise. So yes, that I spoke to several different people, and it came up during dinner. And every night we sat at a different table, and someone would say, "Well, I have that. I have tinnitus. What do you do for it?" So I went and spoke with the program manager there and asked her if it was possible to actually give a presentation. And she thought, well, maybe not to all 150 people, you know, and understand, you know, they may not all have it, but tell you what, Sal, I'll give you a room and the people that are interested can come into the room and you can talk to them there. So I had a private room. I had probably about 20, 25 interested
Mhm.
parties and dozens of questions being thrown at me.
My recommendation would be, if you have any video or photos of that session, start posting it on your Facebook page.
Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
Yeah, I think that would be good. Also, how did you beat anxiety?
So that's a very long
Oh,
history of quite frankly, mental illness that goes back even before I had the tinnitus.
Mm.
And it just developed when I was a young man. So of course, tinnitus equals anxiety,
Mhm.
and that's what happens to people. And so this disorder, which we call an anxiety disorder, came back and very strongly. Basically, the way to beat it is to continue to stay in the present, deep breathing
Mhm.
exercises, a lot of soft music that's soothing, and a very big mindset and focus on the fact that it's just a feeling, and feelings cannot hurt you. Feelings can never hurt you unless you allow them to. So for me, again, it was to wake up in the morning, see the sunshine, see the blue skies. I had a choice. It was either doing that or it was sitting at home and worrying about it all day. So I chose to be out in the sunshine and blue skies. It's really a mental decision that one wants to make. Now, sometimes that's not easy. You know, I can just say, well, I want to be out there in the sunshine and blue sky, but there are ways of, again, of helping people to get to that point so that you can restore basically the quality of their life.
How did you get the nickname Athletic Beast?
So for many years, I was a long distance bicyclist, and actually just over time would go into fitness centers and meet people or make friends with new people who I never met before, and get on a bike, and I would spin so fast that it was almost smoke coming out of the chain. And then I'd go over to the weights and lift weights, and I've been doing this for 40 years. So over time, people who knew me for a long period of time and actually exercised with me came up with that name, the Athletic Beast. And one day in one of the fitness centers that I belonged to for several years, they actually made it a Athletic Beast Day and gave me an award for being one of the strongest individuals in that fitness center. Now, to this day, I sit here with neuropathy in my feet from back damage, but every other day you will find me on my bike, road bike, fat tire bike, riding 12, 14 miles, and then in the gym doing work routines that help my back, actually, a lot of different work routines. I just did a 2-month physical therapy course, which really helped me out. And actually, I was doing that when I was away. I found some really good fitness centers, especially on the river cruise. So basically, that's how I got the name, and it sticks with me.
Well, before we leave, I would like to extend an invitation to you. What message would you like to share with your viewers today?
So I think the biggest message on my mind that I continue to share with people is, you know, I mean, life throws lemons at us, you know, and my take is, let's be positive and try and make lemonade out of it. Let's not get upset right away. Let's just understand what might be happening to us and take a deep breath, get back into the present, and then figure out how we're going to move forward. And if people could just try to do that and not get so excited about any situation that occurs, understanding there's anxiety involved. For instance, if you went to the doctor and the doctor said, well, I think you have this, so I'm going to do a biopsy.
Mhm.
And, rather than waiting home and worrying about it, worrying gets you no place. So go out and do something. And what happens if a week later he comes back and he says, or she comes back and says, you know what? We found nothing wrong with you. All that worrying was for nothing.
Mhm.
So let's not worry during the period of our lives when we are challenged, whether it be mentally, physically, whatever it might be. Let's just get out there and do things.
Sal, would you like, oh, sorry, would you like to share an email address with us for people that would like to contact you for help or to invite you to be a motivational speaker?
Absolutely. As far as helping people, my email is T as in Thomas, V as in Victor, tinnitus. That's TINNITUS @gmail.com. As far as speaking, I have spoken in several organizations, the Hearing Loss Association, public speaking, and I've actually just recently spoken in some small companies, people who are retiring, that type of scenario. So yeah, I'm available to speak anytime. I would love to find a way, especially after my adventure of speaking on the water cruise ship I was on. I would love to find a way to speak on huge cruise ships. That would be amazing.
I
I
think,
would live on them. I would just take my wife Maddie and say, we're going away and here's what we're going to do. I got my little ear here, if you can see it. We are going to help people with this. This is going to help. This will remind me of all the things that I can do, all the tools I have in my basket that I'd like to use to go and help people. Everything I've learned over the last 15 years that can help people, again, restore the quality of their life. That is the main purpose of doing this.
well, you're doing an outstanding job, and perhaps when you have time, just reach out to some of the major cruise lines and see if they would be willing to invite you as a guest speaker on their next, cruises.
Yes, that would be wonderful.
Okay, well, I want to thank you, Sal. I also want to say hi, Maddie, and welcome back. And I hope you have a wonderful, safe 4th of July. And before I leave, I want to encourage people, if you haven't purchased your fireworks yet, please donate that money to your favorite animal shelter. So till next time, this has been Nola Joy Carrillo, and go out and make it a great day and create heaven in your heart and starlight in your soul.
Thanks, NJ.
Thank you, Sal.